Hi, today my topic will be sterilization. Sterilization is the process by which an article, surface or a medium is freed of all the microorganism. It includes vegetative and the spore state of the organism. Now we have disinfection. Disinfection is the destruction of microorganism which can cause infection, that is pathogen. So the difference between sterilization and disinfection is that sterilization removes all the microorganism which can lead to infection, including the vegetative and the spore forms, whereas disinfection it can destroy only the organism which can lead to infection. No infection, disinfection. Antiseptic. An antiseptic agent is something which you can apply on the skin safely. It can be used on the living tissue. So we have three different terms: sterilization, disinfection and antiseptic agent. Now the terms which we need to know before starting the sterilization technique is bactericidal agent and bacteriostatic agent. Bactericidal agent is the agent which kills the organism, whereas bacteriostatic agent is the one which will stop or prevent the multiplication of the microorganism. So, bactericidal and bacteriostatic agent. Some of the agents which we are using for sterilization, disinfection or antiseptics may be bactericidal or it can be bacteriostatic. Coming to the different methods, sterilization methods are divided into two types: using physical methods and using chemical methods. Under physical methods, we have heating, filtration and radiation. These are the most important methods under physical method of sterilization. Coming to heating, the principle of heating is that it can lead to protein denaturation of the organism. Now, there are heating method of sterilization depends on various factors. First thing, whether we are using dry heat or moist heat. So that way we can classify heating methods into dry heat method of sterilization and moist heat method of sterilization. The second, what temperature we are doing the sterilization. What temperature? The temperature is very important in killing the organism. Then for how long we are going to do the method. So if the temperature is less, you have to use it for the longer time. Then next, the presence of organisms in the article. So number of microorganisms is very important before deciding which sterilization technique to go for. Next, the number of organisms, but the species and sporing capacity of the organism also important. Which species of organism, whether it's a highly virulent organism or is it a bacteria which can lead to sporing state, all these things we have to know before selecting a method for heating sterilization. And the last part is that we have to select the type of the material. Which material, based on that we can select your heating technique for the sterilization. Now coming to the first method, dry heat method. Heating method divided into two types: dry heat method and moist heat. In the dry heat method of sterilization, mechanism is protein denaturation, oxidative damage, and we are depending on the toxic effect of elevated level of the electrolytes during heating. Dry heat method of sterilization. In dry heat method of sterilization, we have flaming, red hot method, incineration and hot air oven. In flaming, it is like you are passing the article above the flame. So you have flame and the article can be just pass over the flame, example glass slides, cover slips. So it can just pass it over the flame and sterilization can be done. It cannot be done for all the articles, so it got some disadvantages. Second method is red hot. It is mainly for the metals. For example, we have inoculating wire or loop. So before doing the procedure, we need to sterilize it, but should be fast. So in that case, you can heat it till it becomes red. Metals, when you heat it for long time, it becomes red, and that method of sterilization is known as red heat method or red hot method of sterilization. The third one is incineration. Incineration is a procedure we do it in an instrument called as incinerator, where the temperature will be around 870 to 1200 degrees Celsius. So in that high temperature, the contaminated clothes, animal carcasses, pathology specimen or which are highly infected can be burnt into ashes. So burning to ash, that procedure can be done in incinerator, and the procedure is known as incineration. So this is very useful for the articles which has to be discarded after use. The last method under dry heat method of sterilization is hot air oven. Hot air oven is an instrument where it is used for dry heat method of sterilization, which is one of the most commonly used instrument in the microbiology laboratory. Here the holding time and the period is 160 degrees Celsius for 1 to 2 hours. That means the temperature should be 160 degree in hot air oven, and it should be kept, article should be exposed to 2 hours for the procedure. Where it can be used? It can be used for sterilization of glasswares, forceps, scissor, scalpel, glass syringe, swabs, liquid paraffin or fat. What are the precautions when you are doing the procedure or the sterilization in hot air oven? No rubber particles like gloves, plastics, tubing should be sterilized in hot air oven because of the high temperature. Wet glasswares should not be used. It should be completely dry. Even if you are using glasswares, it should be completely dry before going for sterilization in hot air oven. Overloading should be taken care. If the overloading happens, the air should not cannot reach, the temperature cannot reach to different parts and it cannot sterilize completely. So test tubes and flasks, we store it with non-absorbent cotton wool and it is wrapped in craft paper before doing the sterilization procedure. After the sterilization is completed, we have to allow it to come to the room temperature because it contains high temperature, that is 160 is too high. Therefore, after the use, you have to switch off the instrument and then wait for cooling after sterilization. Hot air oven sterilization control. So what are the things which we can use as a control to check your hot air oven? So we can use the spores of non-toxigenic Clostridium tetani. So Clostridium tetani spores are kept in the sterilization or procedure or during the sterilization, after that which can be tried to grow in the culture medium. If the bacteria spores are damaged or killed during the procedure, it is considered as a good sterilization. Other methods for checking the sterilization are used as sterilization control, Brown's tube, and we have some physical methods. Physical method to check the temperature and the time. What are the disadvantages using this dry heat method of sterilization? Hot air is a very bad conductor of heat and it possesses low penetrating power. Therefore, you have to be careful. Coming to the moist heat method of sterilization. The second method of sterilization under heating is moist heat method. We have the mechanism of moist heat method sterilization is denaturation and coagulation of the protein, and steam, which is got high penetrative, can sterilize better. So compared to dry heat method of sterilization, moist heat method can kill most of the organism. But the moist heat method sterilization techniques depends on the temperature. So that is why we classify it under below 100 degrees Celsius methods which are using below 100 degrees Celsius, at 100 degree methods where we are keeping the temperature as 100 degree and above 100 degrees Celsius. Below 100 degrees Celsius we have three techniques: pasteurization, vaccine bath and inspissation. Coming to the moist heat method below 100 degrees Celsius, the first method is pasteurization. Pasteurization is mainly used for liquids, especially milk. It may contain organisms like Mycobacterium, Brucella, Salmonella, which should be killed before drinking it. So pasteurized milk is safe for drinking. So how to do the pasteurization? We have two techniques. One is the holder method, second one is flash technique. Under holding method, you have to expose the milk for longer time, but the temperature is less. But in flash method, you expose the milk for less time, but temperature is very high. So holding method, we expose the milk towards 63 degrees Celsius, but we expose to 30 minutes. But in flash method, we keep it for 72 degrees Celsius, but only for 15 seconds. So we have holder method and flash method, which in both the techniques, we have to cool the milk immediately after that, quickly below 13 degrees Celsius, around 4 degrees. So holder method or flash method should be followed by a cooling quickly below 13 degrees Celsius. In this way, we can kill almost all the organisms which can lead to milk-borne infection. Pasteurized milk is safe for drinking. The second method below 100 degrees Celsius under moist heat method, second one is vaccine bath. Vaccines of non-sporing bacteria can be sterilized keeping it at 60 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. It will kill all the organisms which may lead to infection. And the last method under below 100 degrees Celsius is inspissation. Inspissation is a fractional type of sterilization which can be done in an inspissator. Here the temperature will be 80 to 85 degree, but it is done for 3 successive days. 30 minutes each day. So every day 30 minutes you are exposing the item towards this, a temperature 80 to 85 degree. It is mainly done for serum or body fluid containing coagulable protein. So you should not be exposed to high temperature. For example, we have a culture media, Lowenstein-Jensen media, which should not be exposed to high temperature, which is sterilized by inspisation technique. Remaining moist method of sterilization and other method of sterilization will be continued in the next part. Thank you.